there's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin was a better investment at 17,000 than it was at 65,000. I take the Warren Buffett view on this.
Bitcoin has broken through the $70,000 level and is now trading for $72,006. The unprecedented achievement of Bitcoin's price action is well ahead of schedule. Many pundits, analysts, and experts believed Bitcoin would start to climb higher after the halving, and more importantly, after the big institutions jumped on the bandwagon. Neither has happened yet, and Bitcoin is still at all-time highs. It wasn't too long ago when Bitcoin was trading for $17,000 that the traditional financial world and some crypto analysts thought self-proclaimed Bitcoin spokesperson Michael Saylor was in big trouble. Rumors of margin calls started swirling, and the overall sentiment was that his buying Bitcoin at the $30,000 range was idiotic, and his advice to sell your home to buy Bitcoin was reckless, to say the least. Saylor has always claimed that he would never sell, and if you didn't plan to hold Bitcoin for at least 10 years, you shouldn't own it. As a guest on CNBC, Saylor doubled down on his remarks even further. This time, though, he had a big smile on his face, as his MicroStrategy company is trading for $1,500 per share while sitting on billions of dollars in Bitcoin. Saylor mentioned that he believes the Bitcoin price will go up in April, as the supply will diminish after the halving. Saylor discussed how, yes, he was early, although not as early as others, but the world is finally waking up and this is just the beginning. Let's listen to what Saylor has to say.
Well, I think I'd start just with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it. It's going to divert capital from risk assets and risk ETFs like SPY, and you can see that these ETFs are doing that. It's going to be incorporated into a lot of funds like the BlackRock Global Opportunities Fund or the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. And so it's an asset class. As it goes into other funds, it's going to become structural. The halving is going to cut the organic supply of natural sellers in half around April 20th. That means there's only about $32 million a day of natural sellers. And the price of Bitcoin is going to have to adjust up in order to meet that investor demand. So I think that's what's going to happen next to the asset class. Bitcoin's a superior investment to gold, equity, bonds, and real estate because it's digital. You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it, billions of people. If you want to buy a house on Saturday in Africa, this is the way to do it. If you want to buy a car on Sunday morning, this is the way to do it. So it's a pretty great asset. It's the greatest of the assets, in my opinion. There's no second best asset. So I didn't have any question about it. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to realize how good it is. So BlackRock is like the container ship or the super tanker of Bitcoin. They can take $1 billion a day into their capital structure, and they can hold that very efficiently, 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is like air freight. We got higher performance. So what's going on here? MicroStrategy's got leverage. If we borrowed $800 million at 62 basis points, is there any company in the world that you wouldn't like to invest in that could borrow $1 billion at less than 1% interest to invest in your best idea? So we get that very intelligent leverage. It's non-recourse, it's unsecured, and then we buy Bitcoin with it. That leverage gives us volatility. It gives us performance. The performance gives us volatility. The volatility attracts capital, and we can then leverage more. It's kind of intelligent because it's convertible debt. it's given our shareholders more Bitcoin per share this week than they had a few weeks ago. So it's very accretive for them. And it's pretty compelling for every investor. If you're Bitcoin curious right now and you want to buy Bitcoin at the all-time high, how do you get the upside in Bitcoin with downside protection? MicroStrategy sold $800 million in debt, and we have $13 billion of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So we're giving you an over-collateralized loan and the upside. But if you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you love Bitcoin and you want to hold it forever, the ETFs charge you 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is accreting. We're giving you a yield against your shares in a tax-efficient fashion. So the maximalists like the equity. The hedgers, they kind of like the upside with downside protection. The traders love the vol. You know, we've got 100 vol asset here, and they just like the vol. So we're unique because you can't really trade options on the ETFs. And an ETF isn't going to issue a convertible bond with upside to Bitcoin, but downside protection.
To watch the full interview, check out the link in the description. What do you think of Saylor's thoughts here? Do you think Bitcoin will surpass $140,000 soon after the halving? Leave a comment. If you found value in the content, hit the like button, as that greatly helps the channel find similar viewers like you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest news and commentary in the crypto market. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.